right, we now hold Echo.
Alright, let's go! Whee! Wanna ride? Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, did he not see me? Oh, look at that! Bye-bye! Oh, there's another guy, Ha! He's clueless! Ha! Goodbye! We're off to a good start. Well, hello there, my YouTube friends and fans. Well, if you have been following me for a while, you know that I'm a Battlefield veteran with thousands of hours under my belt in each Battlefield game. Huge fan, very disappointed at 2042. So, of course, carefully optimistic about this game. To be honest, I wasn't even ready for Battlefield this year because they originally wanted to release it in 2026. So I was like, what? So I definitely have to shift around my gears to be able to play this in October. And look at that, we have our class loadouts back. They're a little bit different. I made some changes to it. So the Assault has the Adrenaline and a shotgun and a grenade launcher. The Engineer is pretty much the same. He has just an RPG and a repair tool, but you can do so-called power repairs, which is definitely something new as far as I remember, never heard of it before. And what's new with the support class is that they can now give out ammo packs, not just med packs, which confused me at the beginning because I was running around as an assault trying to give out ammo packs. Not possible anymore. Now you have to play the support. And the recon can now detonate charges and call in UAVs. So far as I still remember, that wasn't like that before, but correct me if I'm wrong. So let's jump into the map Liberation Peak, which was the very first map that I played when I started the beta. And I was instantly reminded of the mountain map that was in 2042. I don't remember the name anymore because I did not like that map there. And I was like, oh, I'm not really liking this. But I tried to be optimistic and I had some good games on this map. But in general, I would say it was my least favorite map of the 3 maps that we got to play. But honestly, I never had an issue with any of the mountain maps in Battlefield 1, even though there were a lot of snipers there too, but they just did a fantastic job with the cover on all the mountain maps, and even in previous games, I didn't really have an issue. It was literally just 2042, and I think it had a lot to do with just the absolute lack of cover. But that's really not an issue on this map, so I still had quite a bit of fun, especially when I tried to get into a tank, which I usually don't because I prefer to play as infantry. But if you want to have the full Battlefield experience, definitely recommended to at least once try all the vehicles. And I have to admit that I have had a lot of fun in all previous games with tanks, and I even tried planes and choppers. I did okay with choppers, but with the planes, I just could never really get used to the controls. I usually somehow managed to fly into a mountain eventually or get outside the map somehow. I don't know. So I usually try to stay away from that because, you know, it doesn't make sense to waste a vehicle because, you know, your team is going to lose the vehicle and then they're going to be all mad at you because those vehicles are very precious. It's better to leave them to someone who is really good with it, but, you know, at least try it once, but then don't abuse it, of course. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've played a lot of Call of Duty because I just gave up on Battlefield 2042 and I needed another shooter. And then I started to actually really enjoy Call of Duty again. And I played for, I would say, like a couple of years, seriously, not ever going back to Battlefield. So I felt quite rusty when I came in here. I was like, wait, what? How was that again with the classes and everything? There's a lot to learn. And then also people were saying, oh, there is a fast TTK in this game. I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe if you get shot, you feel like you get one-shotted. It's like one bullet and you're dead. And when you try to shoot someone, it takes more like 20 bullets or something. I mean, unless you manage to get a headshot. But a lot of times with this part, heavier recoil, I usually just go for the body. And of course, that takes a lot more bullets. But yeah, it's something that a lot of people didn't like. And I heard that a lot of people actually canceled their pre-orders or uninstalled their games like after just trying it for a couple of matches. But having played Battlefield for so many years, I knew that is always going to happen if you take a long break or if you play other games in between for a long time. It's kind of like learning to drive a different type of car. It just takes a little bit getting used to because every game feels a bit different. And I definitely recommend, if you're like someone who is discouraged by this, to just keep trying. You will get better, guarantee. I have heard from many people that said, oh my God, I just got killed all the time at the beginning. I was so frustrated, but I stuck it out. And then I got actually rather good, after a couple hours or maybe longer, depending on the person. And that's why it's worth it. Just stick it out. Just keep going. It doesn't really matter. What I like so much about Battlefield is that it's really not about how many kills you get. It's really about teamwork, and teamwork. Meaning that if you don't really work with your team, you're most likely not going to win the match. I actually had to learn that the hard way many, many years ago when I was new to Battlefield. Because I'm used to run as a lone wolf, because I started with Call of Duty 4 and I did very, very well just lone wolfing it. But in Battlefield, it's completely different. You actually can do much better if you run with other guys. It doesn't even have to be your squad. Just run with a bunch of other guys because they will revive you and they also will protect you. So yeah, don't lone wolf in this game. So now we're ready for the next map called Siege of Cairo, and it's funny, but I feel like I have played this map the most. And I don't think it's only me. I feel like I've heard other people say that they played this map so much that after a while they were so done with it. They were like, come on, give me another map. So I think they put this map into the rotation more frequently, or maybe it's just a coincidence. But I have to say, thinking about it now, yeah, I would still say that's my absolute favorite map of the three that we were given. And I'm probably not alone with that feeling, because so many people just always looked back to Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, which had exactly those kind of maps, which everyone just loved. I'm just a big sucker for urban combat. Those are always my favorite maps in any shooter, all Battlefield games, all Call of Duty games. Yeah, we used to have maps like this in Call of Duty. Remember Call of Duty 4? It used to be like this. This is how I started. And then, Call of Duty started to then happen on a yacht and in a skate park, and it just didn't feel like this anymore. So that's why I became a Battlefield fan, and I stuck with Battlefield until 2042, when I was extremely sad and disappointed. So I am definitely having high hopes into this game, but as we all know, we were all excited after playing Battlefield 2042. We thought it was awesome. People were raving about it. Everyone was super stoked and excited. And then the game came out and we were like, nah, that's not it. We didn't feel that in the beta, or at least most of us didn't feel that in the beta, because I know people were really, really excited about the game until it actually came out. And then it was just like, I forced myself to play that game for at least 300-400 hours before I gave up. I just didn't want to believe it. I had to just know what's wrong? Why do I not like the game? And then, I heard more and more and more people complain about it. I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one. So it is not me, it is the game. So yeah, sadly, I had to give up on 2042, But the other sad fact is actually that I purchased 2042 twice. I first purchased it for the Xbox One because they were saying it is compatible with Xbox One, no problem. And then, you know, I had to find out that the game looked awful on Xbox One. Not only that, it ran awful, and you could only play like half of the maps, meaning half of the size of the map. They kind of made the map shorter because I think if it was bigger, it wouldn't run at all. So I saw videos and I'm like, wait, I don't even see what they see. Why do I not see this part of the map? And why can't I go into this part of the map? I had to learn, this is because it doesn't run on Xbox One. I'm like, that would have been nice to know. So, you know, at that point, the consoles were super sought after and you could only get them on the black market. So not only did I have to buy the game twice, I had to buy a new super expensive Xbox Series X back then, which was like twice the price that it should have been. And then purchase 2042 again, just so I could actually experience the full game. And I thought, well, that's going to make a big difference. I'm sure I'm going to love it once I have full access. And yeah, after another 200 hours, I was just like, no, that did not make a difference. Yes, the graphics look great now and the maps are bigger, but it still is not a good game. But as a long-time Battlefield veteran and hardcore fan and advocate for the series, I felt guilty about having those negative thoughts, and I almost didn't dare to say anything negative about it because I thought I have to support the game, but I just couldn't. I really tried, and I think that's how probably a lot of people felt that, you know, were just such huge fans. It was just such a disappointment. And I always wonder where all those people went, all those Battlefield fans. I know a lot of them went to play Warzone and, you know, just Call of Duty in general, but probably also to other shooters, or just maybe just ditched the shooter multiplayer altogether and waited for Battlefield to come out. I, for sure, had a lot more time to play single player games that I usually don't have time to because Battlefield takes up my whole life. I play every night, I play for hours, and I just want to grind it and, you know, get ranked up and get all the gear as fast as possible. So yeah, I usually play nothing but that. But I'm hoping that I can find a better balance this time. I am almost 60 now, and I feel like I don't want to spend so much time in shooters anymore. But at the end, you know, it's in my blood. I just absolutely love it. And as long as I still have the reflexes and no arthritis in my hands, I guess I can continue. And I have many more clips on this map, but this would have been too long. So let's jump into the next map called the Iberian Offensive, King's Battery. And this is actually another urban map, also pretty cool. I think this map is a little bit smaller than the Cairo map, but I could be wrong. It just feels smaller. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this map. It's just a different style of city, a different environment. Very intense urban combat for sure. Never a boring moment in here. And a lot of times it actually happens that one of the teams pushes the other team all the way back to the spawn and you can't get out. Happened to me twice. Once I was on the one side and once I was on the other side. But yeah, this is a map where this can happen quite frequently as far as I've experienced. And you see me here using a shotgun. This is actually really cool that this assault class comes with a shotgun because the shotgun is a lot more effective in like tight spaces than an assault rifle is. Oh, speaking of the guns, I felt like the guns were super weak when you like start out with, especially like the assault rifles. I just felt like it always felt like shooting Legos at the beginning. It was just like, I need more oomph, I need more power. Come on, give me more power. I just didn't feel it until I started to get some better upgrades for the weapon, and I felt, okay, now it feels a little bit more tight, it feels more powerful. I'm feeling it now, but What I also noticed is that the SMGs actually are much better in handling, and also they feel more powerful. So I just used the SMGs a lot at the beginning and then went back to the assault rifles. But I have to admit, I never was really a fan of the assault rifles in any Battlefield game. I always like used shotguns or any other gun but an assault rifle. I'm not an assault rifle kind of person. Like in Battlefield 1, I just used DMRs and sniper rifles, and that's, you know, battle rifles. Anything like that, I just feel like I have better control. The assault rifles have a lot of recoil. It's more like a spray and pray kind of situation, and that's just not me. So yeah, I think I even would do better with a pistol than I would do with an assault rifle. But again, you know, I try to be good with all guns because, you know, you never know, because sometimes you run out of ammo, there's no ammo pack, but there's a downed enemy and a gun laying next to him, and you end up picking up that gun, and then you're like, oh boy, I don't even know how to use this gun. So yeah, it's definitely good. For example, in Call of Duty, I forced myself to play gun game a lot because it just teaches you to quickly adjust to different weapons and be good with all of them. And that reminds me that actually Battlefield, I don't know if it was 4 or 3, had actually gun game as a match type, which I played a lot there too. It was so much fun. I really hope they bring that back, because I am pretty sure that a lot of people will be stoked about it. And I actually just looked it up. It was called Gun Master, not Gun Game, but it was based on Gun Game from Counter-Strike. So yeah, please EA or DICE or whoever makes the decision, please bring that back. I would be such a happy camper. And if you were wondering why you only see Conquest gameplay in my clips here, is because it is my absolute favorite game mode in Battlefield. Although I did try the other ones too, but I just didn't enjoy them as much. I mean, they have, like, for example, Domination, like they have Domination in Call of Duty, and you could just tell that a lot of people that were in there were like Call of Duty players. They just had this typical Call of Duty play style that you always see when you play Call of Duty, where they do those jumps before they shoot in order to avoid getting shot. And it was just like, no, I'm not interested in any game mode where it's just about kills. That's kind of boring in my opinion. And if I want to play that, I just rather go and play Call of Duty. But I think it's good that they put that in, because, you know, if you want to sell something, you want to make sure it appeals to the masses. And if Call of Duty players are not feeling comfortable playing the big maps where you have to be tactical and do teamwork, then they can still have fun with Domination. Or maybe if they put gun game in, and it's a win-win for everyone. I mean, we could just, you know, ignore the game modes that we don't like. And for so long, I absolutely hated Rush. I never understood why people loved Rush so much. I always was like, oh, it's just the one team on one side camping in a building or behind a wall or behind a mountain, and the other team desperately trying to go and get to that spot. And it was really hard to do that because they had all the cover needed, they had the vehicles, everything. And it was just such a struggle to even get there. And I was like, what's even the point? But then I forced myself to really get into Rush. And I must admit, I actually did have fun most of the time. But still, I still prefer Conquest. There's just something about capturing different points in different places of the map and then recapturing them again and recapturing them again, instead of just having this one thing that you capture. Try to capture the whole match. I feel like it's a little bit less tedious to do that, but that's just me. So check this out. This actually kind of blew me away, because I was laying here as pretty much a sitting duck, and I pulled out my grenade launcher and I was like, you know, what do I have to lose? I'm just gonna try it. I had my adrenaline on and I just shot the grenade launcher right there into that group, and I was like, uh-oh, now they know I'm here. I'm pretty much dead. But look at that. I killed all 4 of them. Ha! Look at that. 4-0. I could not believe it. So yeah, I actually only played this beta for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, because I did not have early access and I didn't really make an effort to find out how to get early access because I wanted to play Mafia, the old country, so bad because I originally planned to play Mafia all weekend before I knew that Battlefield is coming out this year. So I was definitely bummed because I was really looking forward to play Mafia like non-stop right after it comes out. So I knew now, oh well, if I want to play the Battlefield 6 beta, I have to stop playing Mafia. But then I found out that I still have 2 days where I can play Mafia before the beta starts, and I thought, hey, that's not so bad because it's only for 2 days and then I can go back to Mafia. So that worked out well for me. Even though it was not easy to kind of avoid all the spoilers, the gameplay spoilers, I literally avoided anybody who posted any gameplay. I watched only the trailer and a gameplay trailer, I think 2, but I didn't watch any gameplay from any YouTubers or streamers or anything because I wanted to experience the game for myself for the first time with a fresh set of eyes, because I've done this before where I watched gameplay and then once I actually got into the beta I was like, oh man, I already know this map and I know this map and I already know all the corners of it and what you can do here and what you can do there. It definitely would have spoiled it for me, but hey, I managed to stay away from all of it. So the first Battlefield 6 beta is over, but we have another weekend with more days and a new map and more game modes coming at us. So I'm definitely looking forward to, we're gonna have Rush as far as I know, and maybe a couple more modes, but we can still replay those maps again, but I guess most people want to play the new map, which is called Empire State. So yeah, I hope you join me then. Until then, happy gaming, take care, bye bye.